Hello. 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 Also, hello. While I'm at it, hello. How we doing? We alright? Hopefully we're alright. So today, we're doing a creative stream. Yay! I know I keep missing them, but we're going to do one today. And I'm going to be drawing every boss in Final Fantasy IX, roughly speaking. Hello! How you doing? I have a list. I have 40 bosses written down here. Some of them I've taken out repeats. I've taken out... I've sort of amalgamated a couple because they're basically the same sort of thing. There's 4 optional ones at the end. Might do those if I've got time. If not, doesn't matter. I'll try and keep things relatively spoiler-free, although I will be drawing every boss in the game. I have approximately 3 minutes to do each of them. So that's going to be fun. Yeah. I've actually set up times for each of them so I don't forget where I'm supposed to be and how long I'm supposed to take. So we've got a few minutes before I start. Hello, Kira. How you doing? So, yeah. Yeah, there's 40 of them, roughly speaking, although some of them have multiple participants. That's going to be fun. During the final boss isn't really spoilers. True. Most of the bosses up to that point, maybe. But final boss, we're fine. But like I say, I won't go into too many details about story, for obvious reasons. But I'll just be drawing some funky things. Granted, I do believe both of you have played FF9, but there's no guarantee anybody else who's watching or is going to watch the VOD or whatever has done. Again, I've got roughly the same amount of time to do these as I did for Dark Souls 2. So, given how well that went, we'll see. Yeah, I'll start at sort of 10 past because that's the times I have written down for this thing. So if you have any advice, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't know. So I've amalgamated some of the bosses because they're basically the same thing twice, or they're slight variations on another boss. Although I did keep one of them in that is basically the same boss but a different colour, kind of. So that bodes well. Yeah, I don't know. One of the things I found interesting actually going through it is that there's a point in the game where there's like, it harkens back to the old Final Fantasies of, there's 4 things of the elements and all that sort of stuff. And they just don't bother to do all the bosses. They're just like, here's one of them, that'll do. They kind of fix that later on, but a bit weird that you just do one of them. But, yeah. Also, some of these, like, I could tell you, for example, there is a boss in this called Valia Pira. Now, if you were to tell me, if I were to get my boss brush random boss generator thing up, and it gave me Valia Pira, I would have no idea what it is I'm supposed to draw. Luckily, I've written them in order, so I have a rough idea. It's Valia Pira. I know what it is, but you can't tell by the name, can you? Oh look, Kiro just joined the chat. Thank you, bot. Yeah, don't expect high quality. Don't expect quality. Expect monstrosity. I'm going to attempt to do like the generic or the basic structure first before I go into any actual detail. That way it'll look vaguely like what's in my head. But also, what Tahaka? I just completely forgettable boss. I'm just looking at the middle of the thing, and it's like there's a lot of stuff in the middle that just whoosh right over my head. Even while I'm playing, it's just whoosh. But you know. Is the bot? Oh, is the bot all sleepy? Oh, it's my bot. Yeah. Oh, right, it's time. Okay. Well, I better get cracking then. Okay. So we start. This also includes mini bosses because there are some of them where you're like, yeah, that's supposed to be a boss. Why isn't that a boss? Well, it doesn't have the boss music, granted, but it's a one-time fight. What is that if not a boss? You know? How does this work? Like that. There's like some spikes on it and stuff. I said structure before detail. Like, what's the, I don't know, like a waistcoat or something? Yeah, so this is Masked Man. Tutorial fights right at the start are great. Yeah, it actually takes a while to get to the first proper boss, so we're gonna have 5 bosses before that. Because technically the first boss is the one in the forest, which we will get to eventually, but there's lots of basically boss fights before then. So it's got like a sort of big old sword, I don't know. I think it's curvy. I have no idea what's going on with the outfit. It's the face I remember, so I have 1 minute. I have 1 minute left. Yeah, it's like a waistcoat or something like that. For his big old boots, why not? Sort of articulated mask of some description, which sort of wobbles and rolls and all these sorts of things. Goes down here, sort of attaches onto the body via a big neck brace. It's probably got puffy sleeves. Everyone does in this game, doesn't they? I'm doing great, believe it or not. Not sure I do. Again, 3 minutes. Not a lot of time. The appropriate music. I think about a time already, so that's number 1. Done. Next. Oh, I've got 3 people to draw here, so... okay, so here's one. 2 of them are identical, so that helps. One of them is the same person that I just drew. Probably could have used the same silhouette. But this time they have a different outfit on. I'll do, does the job. This is a wig, by the way. Like a cape, I think. Probably the same sword as well, why not? Cheats! I don't know, it sort of looks like a king of some description. It's supposed to be a king. What do kings wear? Fluffy boots this time. Can't take too much time on this because, again, there are 3 people in this fight. If in doubt. Shrugging hand. How, what? I don't know. These guys have got lots of straps and belts and things. They look strange. And have hooks for hands, as far as I recall. I'm not entirely sure why. Ah, I've run out of time already. This is not a lot of time. That's probably hooves, actually, or something, isn't it? Oh, the next one's got 4 in it. Yeah, this is like slightly sort of gimpish. Look at the zip there. I don't know, they look weird. Hi, miss! Some kings don't wear anything if you believe the stories. Apparently, yeah. Emperors in particular. Yep. There we go. They're weird, those guys. Next. Well, I can do one of them really easily. There you go, there's one of them. So yes, hello, miss. I'm drawing 41 bosses in, well, 40 bosses, sorry, in 2 hours. So I have 3 minutes each, and some of them are complicated. The next one's relatively straightforward, so we should be able to save a bit of time there. Godspeed. Got a very big mirror. Oh, that his head is a square. Like plate armor. Ah. Everybody has larger legs. Probably got like a. What is this helmet? I don't know. Is there a feather in it? There is now. Well, run out of time for this one. So here's the other ones. To be fair, this is also quite representative of the part they play in the plot, but yep. Look how wobbly that is. It's dark. Hi, Hayden. Next. I'm behind schedule. This one's relatively straightforward, though. Does it have feet? It does now. That looks horrible. No, it doesn't have feet, but it... That's about right. That saved me time. Next. Okay. This can save me time as well. There's this guy, but in his normal clothes. So, none of this wig. None of this cape. Not gonna have an awful lot of time to look at chat, I'm afraid. So he's got his waistcoat on, probably. Again, not entirely sure what the outfits are, but we're going what we're going with. What's his normal hair? Oh no, he has a helmet on, doesn't he? A kind of leather sort of thing. Kind of flying helmet. Probably bare-armed, knowing him. Oh, hang on, I'm actually ahead of schedule. Yay! I messed up the timing. It's fine. We're good. I have them written down and everything. How did I mess it up? I'm going to say he's bare-armed. He's probably not, but I'm going to say he is. Stripes? Everyone has stripes in this universe. You have become wisdom itself since ascending to 30. Marvelous. I'm also, just for the sake of symbology, I'm going to put a little dagger in his pocket. This is the Mage Masher. He doesn't use it, but you can steal it. Yeah, I'm actually 3 minutes ahead of schedule. Yay! That's what I get for panicking. What else is there about this character? I feel like I'm missing something big. Yay for schedule. I have written down the times I'm supposed to start each of these next to their names. And I'm supposed to start this boss at 7:22. It's now 7:23. So we're fine. Always steal it if you can. Yes, I like watching the speedruns of this game. And they spend far too long. It's like, reset, it took more than 3 attempts to steal. Watched a marathon and it took like 20 attempts to get this thing. Stealing in Final Fantasy IX is not easy. But it's occasionally worth it. This is going to be break number 1. Oh, apparently I can run ad breaks during my stream. That's a thing I found out today. I'm not going to, because especially not in this one, because it's going to be frantic as it is. Yeah. Anyway, I hope everybody's weekend has gone fantastically. What is it about? Does this guy... Does he have a ponytail? He does now. Hey, am I trying to draw you and I'm not doing a very good job? You've got a ponytail. That's how that works. It's steal from the Ice Cavern boss more than 20 times to get its item. I can't even remember what that is. I tend to panic. For some reason, when I was younger, I thought you had to do things in a certain order, otherwise you'd end up soft-locking the game for some reason. So I always panic on that boss, I don't know why. Roast dinner! Hey! So I don't think I've ever particularly stolen from it. Again, stealing is difficult, and usually not worth it. So I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know this boss. Anyway, moving on. Save. Now, when I did a randomizer of this game recently, it randomizes the moves of the enemies. And this boss, which is the first boss of the game, in an area you can't get out of until you beat the boss, had an extremely powerful move that killed all of my party in one go. So that was fun. Had to do a bit of grinding. So I watched the cutscene of it several times. captured a basic gist. I'm pretty sure it's also got tentacles. A lot of tentacles in this place. And let's give it some more tentacles, why not? Or is it like kind of a... goes up and then down? I can't remember. The plus side for the random move generator thing is that by the end of the game, you've got all the stuff that you should have at the end of the game, because probability, and the enemies have a higher chance of having a weaker attack. So the end of the randomizer, apart from the fact that it just broke, was relatively easy. I advise it's not a particular challenge unless you get what I did at the start. But I do advise it if you just want a kind of new game plussy kind of. I want to play this game, but I've played it so many times that I know everything. Do that. Do the randomizer. It's a good time. Okay, I'm gonna get a head start on the next one. So, because there's two. I'm going to assume you've got pointy shoes, why not? Oops. What does his head look like? I don't know. I'm gonna do a vaguely angry looking thing. I think it's spiky in some respect. This is where my knowledge falls down. So soon. Look, it's a giant penguin. Who would have thought it? This is not what it looks like, but that's what we got with what we're gonna go with. That's why, like Remnant, is random from the start, and if you reset the campaign, you get the same bosses. It changes their stats to make the fights different. Ooh, very cool. When I was sort of planning on making a large game that would never get finished, I wanted to. I was working on the architecture for the programming in such a fashion that a randomizer would be built in, because I just like them so much. They're a good time. I also bought 2 games recently that have randomizers, so yay. Then there's also you. You're in the cold, actually. I'm going to give you a scarf. Why not? A little bell for some reason. Oh, I recently found some more concept art for Final Fantasy IX, for I do have a bit of an obsession with it. And I found some concept art of an engineer raccoon, and I'm a big fan. They're very cute. This is Cecil. That's a reference almost nobody's gonna get. Because you and Chippy play in each world, you have different events and bosses, in your solo game that's different again. Cool, cool. Next one. I think we're done mostly with the multiple bosses now. One's rather more grandiose. Oh, your hat's pretty straight. Probably a feather? Why not? Oh no, not a feather. Like weird horns. From FF4? No, actually. It is from absolutely nothing to do with Final Fantasy. It is to do with a song from the 1970s. Now, does this one have wings? I think it's got small wings. It sort of zips around, doesn't it? See, these hands are not the I don't know hands, these are the I'm summoning magic hands, and I'm very powerful. Even though they look the same, they're not. Yeah, that's pretty close. Probably. Yeah, that works. The waltzes are probably my favourite bosses. I'm having played it again recently. I'm kind of annoyed they didn't persist longer in the story. I feel like the things they represent and the things that they do in the story continue all the way through the game, so why don't they? I don't know, would have been a nice recurring boss. Maybe just 3. Keeps coming back more and more, and that's... Anywho, well that's 1 and 2 and now 3. I think this one's also... It might be a bit floppy, why not? This one's got big old wings. There we go. I don't really know what's going on with the bottom half, so let's just do... No, they're not legs. Pretty sure they go with the high collar again. Covers up the neck joint. No one is to know how the neck joins to the body. Oh no, it's Fluffy, isn't it? Ah, it's Fluffy! This one's all fluffy! I think it's still a high collar. It's a fireball, in case anyone wanted to know. Give you pointy shoes as well. And he's got big old majestic wings. Obviously, dark feathers and all that. Oh, you're taller than that, aren't you? Does the job. Moving on! There's a long stretch of game here without a boss, and then there's a boss that I always throw a tent at. So let's do that. That's how it works? Hang on. Already got a little. Does it have like arms? Oh no, I'm gonna give it little legs. Didn't quite turn out the way I expected. I don't care about this boss. It's supposed to be significant to the story, but you only get introduced to it when you fight it, and then you forget about it. Remember when this in the story and you're getting emotional again. This is an emotional part of the story. It's just a shame I can't remember what this boss looks like. It doesn't look like this, I can guarantee that. It's got a good name though, Gizmalook. Always nice. Yeah, cool. Next, bit ahead of schedule. Now I have to draw someone. Oh no, hang on, that's not right. Yes, it is. It is. I forgot there's another part of the game. I think it's the other way around. Because then you got the thing, it goes like that. She crops up a few times, so I'm only going to draw her once, but she's probably the most story significant boss in this part of the game, so good on her. She's also incredibly strong and just easily kills you pie. She flicks her hair dramatically and everything. Does she have like a sort of thing? I don't know. Pretty sure she's wearing less revealing clothing than the rest of the soldiers, but because for some reason they decided to make the army of this castle almost exclusively female, and then give them very revealing outfits. Yeah, one step forward, two steps back. I don't know what's going on with the lower half, so we'll just do boots, complete thing, maybe a kind of tabard sort of thing. You got a cool sword? I don't know what it looks like. Let's just give her a cool sword. It's called the Save the Queen. It's always nice when the name of a sword is a sentence. You think they were mostly just not wearing pants? They're wearing like leotards, which is not good armor, all things considered. They've got helmets, they've got shoulder pads, knee pads, but leotards. Bit weird. There's a jewel in it. This looks disproportionate, but that sort of makes sense for the game, to be honest. The game's actual characters, main characters, are not very well proportioned. I believe that's by design, but in this particular instance, it's by mistake. Sure, that'll do. Weird armor leotards, yeah. I wouldn't mind if the Knights of Pluto were also wearing leotards. Gotta be fair about this. Steiner in a leotard would be a bit weird. You know. Well, actually, to be fair, Beatrix isn't, so Steiner's fine. But the Knights of Pluto, stick them in a leotard. Although they do appear in their underwear at one point, so I guess that's fair. Next. End of Disc 1. That's true. That is the end of Disc 1. We're going to get through Disc 2, I guess, relatively quickly, because most of the bosses in Disc 2 are her again. So now there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens, which technically isn't... Oh no, hang on, this is... Oh no, this is... I keep forgetting there's like two of these. That's not that. This is the first one. Oh no, this... Oh, I remember looking at this when I was playing it recently, and its design is weird. Probably not going to have time to do it justice, but it's sort of weird spiral things on the face. Big old body. Snakes off into the distance. And the thing that I found particularly peculiar about this boss was the face. When I was looking for some eyes, turns out there weren't any. There were just lots of unsettling holes. Yeah, it's a weird old boss, this. But it is just an aside. You find it in a tunnel when you're going somewhere. This is after meeting Dr. Tot. Because I like their design. I'm a fan of anthropomorphic animals. There aren't many main characters who are anthropomorphic animals in this game, but Tot is one of them. Oh yes, YouTube, stop pestering. That's that. That's whatever that is. I'm sure. Does it have like horns or something? Yeah, it does now. Yeah, weird sponge face. Not sure why, but it is. accurate. These also have names I can't pronounce. Ralvarava. Ralvarava? There's an H in there somewhere. Is it really a cake? Possibly. Okay. This one's relatively easy because most of it's under sand. A whirlpool of sand. This is a throwback. This is from Final Fantasy IV. Alright. No. Does it have... I guess it's got sort of claws or something. Maybe just sort of fences. I don't know, really. The more I think about it, the more I have no idea what this thing looks like. I think it's all fluffy, isn't it? Let's give it the evil eyes as always. Safest way to go. Let's give it big evil eyes and then sort of bug them up. Yeah, it does the job. That'll do. Next up on the chopping block. You know him, you love him. One of them speaks like Yoda, the other one doesn't. I can never remember which one it is. Because what is a game set in a fantasy world without an evil jester? Simple, Final Fantasy IX. Because in this game, there are two! Pretty sure one of them has like... Oh, look at that perspective. That completely intentional perspective. That's too big, but I kind of like it, but let's make it not. I win! there's that. And there's that. Now I think about it, the one with hearts is probably the good one. That eyebrow's powerful. Yeah, that's about it. Does the job. At this point, any of us and anything around us could be cake. I'm probably cake. All things considered. They're pretty big hats. Yeah. That's the end as well. Cool. Next up, the follow-up to the sponge snake. I'm not made of sponge, but I probably still am actually, because I don't think I looked. Let's draw it exactly the same. And then flip it. For creativity's sake. This one has uncurled its weird curly things by the looks of it. And what is going on with the rest of the head? I think this one has eyes. I think it does. You want cake now? Everybody wants cake. We may not agree on what cake we want, but we all agree we want cake. I don't think this has spikes, but if in doubt, add spikes. This one is the Ralvui Margot. Why? Don't know. Some more eyes, why not? Also a lip piercing. And a security ID. They're employed by Ramu. And some amazing vegan cheesecake last night. It was incredible. It was neither cheese nor cake. I'm glad it was good. What's next on the list? We're 15 in now. 15 out of 40. Get in there. Actually, the next one is technically an optional boss. I don't know why I kept it in where it is, but it is. It's there, and it's complicated. So let's get going. I want to draw Atomos, because that's my favourite cutscene in the game, but it's not a boss, so... I have no idea what this thing looks like. Like, it's a mess just to look at, but to memorize? So it's like... I honestly don't... Does it have a head? There's like it's got like a shield with a head on, a face on it. So we'll do that. I'm pretty sure it's got a face on it. no idea. I'm gonna give it horns. As you go for it, I'm pretty sure it's got wheels. It's like a big old chariot sort of thing. Give it a helmet, safe driving. We'll go the Black Mage design route. I'm also going to assume that it propels itself along using its hands. This looks nothing like this boss. You don't have to fight this boss, so I don't know what it looks like. Even if you do fight the boss, you don't defeat it, so there's no point to it. It's big in the back as well. There's more wheels. And there are like spikes on the wheels. It's called the Armadillo-Han. If anybody wants to look it up and look at my thing and go, well, how did you get that from that? Simple. Forgetfulness. Yeah, it's like that, but it's got like lots more bits. There's a few more arms. Why not? Can I stop drawing this now? Like, hi, I'm Armadillo-Han. There's part of me that wants to take whatever I've just drawn here and actually turn it into something, because like, it's not a terrible design. It's not what I'm supposed to be drawing, but it's not a terrible design. Are we talking about the actual thing or what I just drew? Anyway, moving on. This is a person. I don't know what she looks like. This is Badass Lady number 2. Pretty sure she's got a... like a toy made by a madman. She sort of like hunches over a lot because she chose an inexplicably heavy weapon. Did you hold it? It's like... To be fair, this is the first instance, I think, in a Final Fantasy game of a character having an extraordinarily heavy weapon, you know, unbelievably heavy, and actually having trouble lifting it. So, I guess there's something to be said for a little bit of realism here. I don't know what she wears. I'm imagining Leela from Doctor Who, actually. So it's turning into that a little bit. I'll grab it through the... Yeah, that definitely looks like a No incorrect properties there whatsoever. The game really accelerates here, doesn't it? I always think these bits of the story are much, much further on, but they're not. In fact, immediately after this is the Scottish section, where everybody speaks with a Scottish accent. And then you get through that, and then you fight Big Old Friend. Oh yeah, it's the slightly crappy 80s song. It isn't actually a song, it's just a thing that's in the middle of the game. That makes no sense. Rally ho! I shared pictures of it with you, miss, when I got to that bit. If you remember. Now this friend has a very wide face, I seem to recall. Doesn't quite look like that, but I'm going with it. Only has big ears. That's what I'm going with. Oh no, actually they got like sort of dreadlock sort of thing, I think. So say you should have stayed out of the marital dispute. I was just walking through a corridor, they were shouting about it. So yeah, there was an argument, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I remember something about this. There's straps going through it with like a ring in the middle. Again, there's a little bit of a minor bondage theme going on in this game, not sure why. Ah, Freya's theme. Again, having gone through the game, I feel like Freya deserved more. She doesn't really do very much, and her story is just sad. It's like, oh, I want more. I want more from you. You're a good. Anyway, here's Big Friend. She's basically a vector for bad things to happen. And that's it. That is Freya's job in the story. It's like, oh. I mean, you get some solace in the end, but still. I like this. I like this guy. Moving on. Freya and Vivi deserve more. Vivi at least had the opportunity to grow a bit. And has the best character arc in a game I've played for a very long time, actually. I didn't realise that before I played it recently, but the story is basically about Vivi. It's as far as I'm concerned. Can't remember quite what's going on with this. Like bits of tree. This boss is weird as well. Obviously, they deserve. Ultimately, I would say Vivi deserves a little bit more. But the lesson that it teaches the audience, I think, is significant. No spoilers, of course. Let's go gaunt. Not entirely sure. No, let's go. Nope. Go big. No, let's go. Oh. Nah, we'll stick with the classic. What is going on with the head? I don't know. You can kill this boss in one turn. I don't know what's going on with it. It's sort of like a tree thing, but it's got blocks of stone on it as arms. I don't know. It's a weird thing. This is the start. This is when things get really weird. This is the start of the really, really weird stuff. Takes a while to get actually weird, but this is the first hint. Little Black Mage, it was different, yeah. Story that doesn't go off the rails is about Vivi and Dagger a bit. Yeah, Vivi and Dagger, they're the main characters as far as I'm concerned. Speaking of main characters, who likes a chap with a forehead and a chin? Now, given that I've never drawn this character before, I'm actually quite pleased with that. How quickly that came together. You kill all of the undead enemies, no problem, and then fight that boss legit. That's fair. I used to fight the boss legit. When I was a kid, I didn't know. How are you supposed to know it's an undead thing? Everything before it's obvious. Also, can somebody explain to me why the transform of this character is wearing like a jockstrap and nothing else? Forehead to chin and very little story. Yeah, he's the he's the savage who needs to be taught civility. That's the idea, I guess. That's the cliche. Even though he's not a savage, he's civilized. But he's civilized and very cynical. I don't understand. Why don't you just kill me? Because you can. Just kill me. No. Why would I kill you? Why aren't you killing me? Calm down. If you think my use of chin here is exaggerated, you have another thing coming. What does he wear? Not a lot, really. Oh, I've just realised you don't actually see the eyes, do you? That's where the hair just goes down. Got very heavy hands. Don't hold it against him. Okay. This guy's cool. He's cool. This is just purposeless. Although actually, I played him recently in the randomizer. He was pretty good. Well, very strong. Didn't realise how strong he was. Status elements really work on bosses. Yeah. Status moves. If you can't use them on power play. What's the point? I was having also played Final Fantasy X recently. That does status effects much better. They actually are significant. Who's next? Next is again, not quite sure how to go about drawing this, but I'll give it a shot. What? Have I? Have I got this? I don't think I have. What is this? I don't know. Like a propeller on it or something? It's like a big ship thing. But it sort of just keeps going on. Very, very long. Trying to do a foreshortening thing here, but it's not working. Does it have a mast? I don't know. What is it? In 10 you can do the reflect nonsense too. I mean, in 10 you can just Zanmato everything and be done with it. I'm gonna put a mast on it. I don't know why, but I am. I'm sure there's a propeller somewhere. Okay, well let's have sort of two sticky out bits like that, and each of them are gonna have. Oh, right. This looks nothing like what it's supposed to be, but we're just gonna run with it. We're gonna run with it. I think it has like sort of big like wing things that retract or something. I don't know. It's like a transformer. This thing. It sort of folds out into weird shapes and stuff, and I don't know what any of it looks like. Yeah, sure. Have a sail. Why not? Can I be done with this yet? I can! Wonderful. Moving on. This one's a bit easier. There, done. Save myself a bit of time. I'll do whatever. Something like that, isn't it? This actually, I almost completely forgot about this boss prior to replaying it, but having played it recently, it's kind of one of the more interesting bosses in the game. Not for any particular reason because it's a good fight, but because you can affect the boss fight from outside the boss fight. What you do in the overworld actually matters in the fight, which is kind of cool. I like that. There's all sorts of weird decorations and stuff. I don't know. But I like that. I like the fact that the world of the boss fight is not just a distinct thing. It's not like you just put down one game and picked up another one. They are actually connected in some way. But it is just a big bit of rock, really. It's colourful. I'll give it that. This is the Valley Apira, by the way. This is the thing that has the completely non-descriptive name. It's neat. Yeah, it's a bit trivial if you know what you're doing, but because I sort of based the game I will never make that I was working on around that idea, the idea of what if the fight actually was interactable with the world? How about that? How about that be a thing? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just move on. Save some time. And draw whatever this is. Down a bit. I won't say too much about this. This is arguably the closest you get to a spoiler boss. Well, sort of. I mean, once we get to the end, you'll probably think, that's probably a significant person now, given that we fight them near the end of the game. I don't think they did that in the design, but I like that. That works. That fits the theme. Give the old classic comedy tragedy masks. Ah. I also forgot about this boss. Which is weird because it's actually a significant boss for one of the characters, but which has arguably one of the silliest moments, which is supposed to be powerful, but when you actually look at it, it's quite silly. Very Japanese. Trino! Good old piano music. I was going to learn this at some point. Probably should. That's pretty close. Okay, now this next one. I barely remember at all. I forgot it existed until I played the game again. They have a name that is said in the game in dialogue, but are completely pointless. I'll give you 10 points to anybody who's played the game who can tell me the name of this next boss. Looks like 2 gestures under a sheet on a stool. We'll go with that until we do the draw through, and then I'll explain. Whenever that's going to be. Right. This one. Okay, so I seem to remember the basic shape of it. Because it's sort of a bit armadillo-esque. Well, you know, if all else fails, give it the scowl. So yes, this is the boss that you fight in Ibsen's castle. Because clearly you're not going to be able to work out what it is from my drawing. But yeah, 10 points to anyone who can tell me its name. It is named in dialogue. This is not something you have to work out through scan or whatever. This is a character with lines. Steve. Might as well be. Steve Snips. No. for if my surname is Snips, that is my brother's name, and that would be weird. That my brother is in this game. You remember the boss, don't remember the name. Exactly. I don't know why they named this boss. It's like, what's the point? They don't last long enough. Why did they even talk? I think the reason they talk, actually, when you look at it, is because the characters needed to have a way of working out what to do next in the game. So they just had classic evil villain trope. I will explain my plan to you. Or less plan and more purpose in this case. But I have one purpose, and it is to protect the MacGuffin. Oh no, you killed me. Here is the MacGuffin. Now they're going to blankety blank. And our characters go, really? We should blankety blank. That kind of works. Need to continue your recent playthrough. You're after the infantry. Your most recent playthrough on Switch. Marvelous. You're at the point where the game gets weird. Not fully weird just yet, but weird enough. We're almost at the point where the game gets very weird. But before then, let's draw a Skelly Bob. I don't remember, it's got like a tuft of hair or something. It's got something else as well, hasn't it? Has it got horns? I'm gonna give it horns. Why not? So on Switch, you'd have to pick it up. It's a good game. Play it. If you haven't played the game, it's very good. Spend all your time walking around Limblom looking at the NPCs. They're great. Engineer Raccoon. And I need to share that picture. I think it's got like a kind of... This is the boss where there's actually 4 bosses, but you only actually fight one. I think, has he got like scythes for hands? Probably. YouTube! Thank you. Oh, the NPCs, the designs. Yes. I will talk about that more in several months. Do you want more games set in the same world like you got with the tactics games? Well. Ooh. Boss fight. I will say, this is possibly a controversial opinion, and it is only an opinion. You are welcome to have a different opinion. Not the best boss music. Might just be me. Give you more about the diverse world here. Eyes peeled. Keep. Yeah, so this is an floating Skelly Bob. With scythes for hands. That does the job. You can eat this, by the way. I found that out recently. We mentioned the fact that one of your characters eats things. Yeah, that'll do. Of all the bosses, yes, indeed. You can eat just about anything. I guess you can eat pretty much anything, but there's not your favourite boss dragon either. I don't know what my favourite would be. 6 is very good. Not a huge fan of the game. Boss theme, very good. What does this look like? Okay, this is where the game goes nuts, but you don't see a lot of that. We're just going to skip straight to the bosses. I don't know. I should know what this thing looks like, because you see it quite a lot in the game. That's the most hilarious way that type of magic's been done. It's innovative. I'm glad they tried something different. They toned it down a bit with Kamari. Okay, so it is a dragon, which means it doesn't have hands. That's the rules. We know these rules. The hands are the wings. Wyverns have... No, dragons do have them. Wyverns don't. Is that right? Dragons do. Okay, dragons do. I'm gonna go with dragons do. Spyro has arms, and he's a dragon, so we'll go with that. This is very feathery, I think. Very feathery dragon. Also, why do you fight it here? I guess there's more than one, probably. Like in the universe. The fact that I have to specify universe is annoying. It's only 4 if you just swallow them. Knowing Quino, that might be the case. Yep, no, I don't really remember an awful lot about this, and this is not what the boss looks like, so feel free to look up the silver dragon if you so desire. It's also not silver, it's green. Again, it's still not as bad as the Executioner's Chariot, but then again, that's quite a low bar. In the tactics games, you have to get hit with spells to learn them instead of consuming, which makes learning spells like Doom very tricky, I can imagine. That's the same in 7, isn't it? Not only you have to be hit by it and have the materia equipped. Which leads to things like, oh no, I won against this boss. I better reload so that I can get hit by his powerful attack again. Weird. So now, significant. Rather appropriate music going on as well. This is significant for many reasons. This is not what this character looks like at all. They look gaunt. Almost skeletal. But this is actually, this boss is a throwback to Final Fantasy 1! Yes, 1! This whole game is a throwback, basically. He's got a hole in his chest for reasons. I'm not entirely sure if it's got a body, to be honest. Does have a fancy cape, so I'm going to draw that. I remember playing, because I played 9 first, I remember playing Final Fantasy 1 and going, I know that name! And I remember thinking it was intimidating, and then actually finding out what the name meant, and going, oh. Kind of a pleasant name. He's not very tall, to be honest, but I'm going to draw him even smaller. That's silly. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get to the boss whose music this is before the music stops, but that would have been nice. Oh, the boss whose music this is was also a bugger. Because it had a move which instantly killed it, but the game wasn't ready for it to be instantly killed because there's a cutscene after it. So it just froze the game, again. This is the randomizer, by the way, should specify that. Speaking of which... What does this character look like? This character is also wearing not a lot. Can't remember exactly what they were, to be honest. You love them? I'm probably doing a bad job. Don't know who they are, but you're here for this high elf snootiness. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. This guy speaks in poetry some of the time. Again, gonna go for this. Just missed out on the music. Okay. This is the music of the person I drew previously. Yeah, I don't like what else. There's not. I'm just gonna leave it like this, to be honest. This is what you wear now. You probably don't mind. His clothes are high fashion nonsense. You should see. Actually, there was early concept art of this character in disguise. Even higher fashion. They disguised themselves as a nobleman, but that never made it into the game. Great hat. Do you have shoes on? Probably not. Also, you're probably floating at this point. Ah, but clothes are just shackling you to this earth, and they're a betrayal of what you believe is actually, believe it or not. Yeah, it works. You know who this is. It's not an accurate picture, but you know who it is. Right, next. Oh, good. Another dragon. Let's give me a bit of a break. Basically the same. I'm pretty sure it has like a really long nose though, this one. I remember thinking, that's a long nose. And there's probably lots more. Oh, is this the dragon but like in trance? Never thought of that. Can dragons have trance? Trance is a thing in the game. It just sort of happens. It's never explained, but it's significant. So it's explained in a wishy-washy sort of way. There's no actual explanation. There's just characters talk about it for a bit. When this dragon goes into trance, their nose gets longer. Which again is better than Amaranth's, because just rip off all your clothes and go around in a jockstrap. Ooh, I like this music. A bit sneaky. Again, this looks nothing like the actual boss, but we're going with it. Gives me a chance to have a drink. You stand that trance power? What? Wearing a jockstrap? You're welcome to. I'm not going to stop you. Oh yeah. Trance is the fact that you can't store it or stop it. Is again sort of makes sense, but it's not fun. You like Trance, but I would like it more if you could actually decide to use it or not. Yes. You can never use it at the time you want to. That's just a rule of the game. Yeah. I feel like I've wronged this boss because it's actually a pretty strong boss. And it's a lot sleeker than what I've drawn. It does make sense that, yeah. This is the thing, is that game designers must understand realism usually isn't fun. That's what I learned when I tried to make my game. So what are you? Oh, this is another one I can save time on. Because now, do you remember me saying that this boss was part of 4 bosses and you only fought one of them? Well, by the end of the game, you fight stronger versions of them. And you do fight all 4, so that's cool. And these are based, again, on the bosses from Final Fantasy 1. Spoilers for Final Fantasy 1. Oops. Cannot contain the power of the jockstrap, it tears asunder all inferior clothes. I don't think I've ever worn a jockstrap, but sure. You like what you like. Hang on, are we talking about jockstraps or loincloths? Because I know where your allegiances lay on the latter. Someone made a game to hammer the realism isn't fun point. They made a delivery game where you travel between cities in the Western US in real time. That's called Death Stranding, isn't it? No, there was Desert Bus. I know about that. I think that was that Penn and Teller? More. This boss is basically just like, hey, do you remember that Skelly Bob? It's that, but more. And you have some more skulls. What is this music? Ah, Bad Times. That's what it is. It's Bad Times. Fortunately, it's bad times for people we don't like, so it ultimately ends up also being good times for people we don't like even more, but these things happen. Desert Bus is not a game, but a journey, literally. Hey, it's Dark Souls, it's Nito, yeah. I thought it's Malaris. Travelling in the southwest US is just a lot of nothing. Marvellous. At least the nothing in Britain is green and has trees. Yeah, that's that basically. Pretty straightforward. Next! 4 fiends! You have too few people in all the space you have. To be fair, from what I've seen of the space that isn't inhabited, you don't want to inhabit it. You know, even in the places they have inhabited, they can't exist without air conditioning. So, so I don't blame them, really. So this is good old Tiamat. Staple of the Final Fantasy series. Everyone loves a big old dragon. This one has 3 heads. Why? I don't know. It should be called Triamat. No. Threamat. That would have worked. It's probably got arms as well, yeah. Simple build a giant sun-blocking device like in The Simpsons. And Final Fantasy VII begins. It exists, it's called the mountains. It just makes the desert worse. The only mountains I really know of in America are the Needles, because I read up on a town called Needles, which is where the person who made Snoopy came from. And that's why one of Snoopy's cousins is called Needles. No, Spike. It's called Spike. He comes from Needles. Next. Jabu Jabu, King Jabu. Yeah, might as well get flippers. Something a bit different. I don't really know what this thing looks like. You know, fish mouth. Yep, 100% accurate. Oh no, Freya's theme again. Sad times. This is not accurate, by the way. I just don't know what this thing looks like. Oh, the general silhouette, and that's about it. It has tentacles. What was Freya's like quote? Because everyone had like a quote in the game, didn't they? That sort of represented their existential despair. That's what the game's about, by the way. The game is very existential. Final Fantasy VII was a what's the word? Not ecological, environmental parable, and getting back to roots and things like that. 9 was all about existential panic. 8 was about and don't let teenagers make decisions. Also space, I guess. Look at that. It's the Kraken, those. That's a cracking good drawing. Next. Oh no, I've done these in the wrong order. This guy's next. So I'll go back and do the one that I missed. So that guy, that's the Lich. Not Malaris. I'm going to draw Malaris now. I seem to remember one peculiar design of Malaris. Peculiar design feature of Malaris. Because again, as I was going through, I was like, I should probably pay attention to these designs at some point, as you can clearly tell. To be forgotten is worse than death. Oh. You deserve better, Freya! You deserve better. So this is also scaly. This is a snack lady. No, I'm sticking with it. Sticking with it. So yeah, for some reason, they thought that was a good design to go with. I think I should stop with the jokes and crack on! So yeah, I think because again, like, these are like hyped up versions of 4 previous bosses. This one, the previous version of this one actually had legs and a tail, but for some reason they decided to amalgamate the two together for this fight. Do you look like a sort of Cobra-y thing going on? Maybe. Also, you've got 4 arms as well, haven't you? Yeah, it's a weird old design, this. But there we go, that's that. Another throwback to 6. Do you know what, actually? Didn't make this connection until now, but I could probably save time again by going right back to this guy. Right back to good old Gizmaluke. Just sort of making some alterations. Ooh, we're in the title screen again. There's 139 tracks in this soundtrack, and we keep getting the same ones. So this is a fun boss, because it's right near the end of the game. It comes out of nowhere, as a lot of the bosses at the end of the game do. And exists, it seems, purely to annoy speedrunners, because you can just lose the speedrun here. 10 hours in. I don't know what's going on with the head for this one. Let's just carry on the theme, I guess. I'm pretty sure it's more built in than this, so it's sort of less of a long neck and more just sort of... thing like that. I actually think it has something approaching a sort of torso. Spikes. It's brown, as every good boss should be. The Lamia is a enemy earlier on in the game, and is weird, but not quite. Sturgeon had an accident with the car windscreen. It's just been splat. This is Death Guys. Why? I don't know. Why does it crop up here? They wanted Death Guys in the game, probably. They were like, we like this boss. This was a good one. We should probably have it in there somewhere. We filled up the rest of the game. Stick it at the end. I don't think this one has legs. I think it's just a big old thing. Maybe it's got claws. Are they arms? Are they feet? Nobody knows. Alright, cool, wonderful. Now let's take another one that we've done before. And add just so many feathers. To be fair, this character is also kind of underdeveloped. There is something there in terms of like a way to feel a bit of sympathy for this character, but it is very underdeveloped. I'm just adding feathers. I don't really know what this looks like. It's just, I'm just adding feathers. Not terribly inaccurate, I don't think. I'm just character you've drawn so very much. You're very welcome. Don't look up the original. Enjoy this chicken elf. Just feathers instead of feet. Who needs feet when you can float with feathers? I am Feather God. Quetzalcoatl. Felt like there should have been more in Disc 3, if only to better explain the weirdness in Disc 3. That's a very good, concise description of Disc 3. I think Disc 1 is amazing, Disc 2 is very interesting, Disc 3 is just, what? I would have been happy if it stopped at Disc 2, to be honest. That's just me. But I didn't realise how quickly they made this game. This was released a year after 8. Obviously they were working on it at the same time as 8, but still. Would have been, I guess it was because the PlayStation 1 was coming to the end of its life, and they were like, yeah, if we don't release it soon, we're gonna not have money. Yeah, a little bit more polish would have been nice. There we are. Speaking of which, final boss. What does this look like? I don't know. Does it matter? Not really. Let's put a thing there. Why not? Let's put a big old thing here. It looks a little bit like the cloud boss that I drew before. So if you want to look at that for a better example, I think this one also has weird face syndrome. Sponge face. Although it makes sense on this one. The boss is all about nihilism. That makes sense that they would have no face. So like, there's lots of rings going around, so I'm gonna ring around this ring. And some rings here. Get it? It's like a 0. Nihilism. Yeah, no, I have no idea what this thing looks like. Does it have 4 arms? I don't think it has 4 arms. Maybe it's crossed. Got one set crossed. Oh yeah, we're at the end of the game. Should I do the optional bosses? There's 4 of them. 4 that I've got recorded anyway. It's the whatever hands. They make a return, but this is the whatever of nihilism rather than the whatever of whatever. My United States of whatever. Oh, I don't know, it's all biblical and stuff. Have ears, why not? Didn't need that song in your head. I can't even remember the dialogue. I just remember there are pauses and it's like, and then I went to the shop and then there was this guy and he said, "Get out of my way," and I said, "Whatever," something like that. It's not really a song, is it? Did he ever do anything else? What's going on down here? I don't know. He's wearing bunny slippers. For what is more nihilistic than not getting dressed in the morning? Just plodding around your house going, it doesn't matter. Nihilism! This is the final boss! Wonderful, love it. It looks nothing like it, but it's very funny. Doesn't really have lyrics, just angry mumbling. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, let's do the optional bosses. We'll start with the one I haven't actually fought myself, because screw that. And you might think it's the big super boss that's really, really hard. No, I have fought that and I've beaten it. This is the one that is just tedious to get to. Didn't even know it was a boss until I was looking up concept art. Why is that a thing? I have emote slots and no one subscribed to me, so I thought I'd upload something that I'd wanted to use elsewhere. But apparently you're subscribed to me, so yay, thank you. So yeah, this is a character, you meet this character later on, but if you decide to go for the side quest of one of your characters, you get to fight this character to get the ultimate weapon of the character that doesn't particularly matter. If the chat points or whatever... Oh, it's the chat points or whatever they are give you emote unlocks and stuff. I think they nicked it from Mixer. Also, you can get the emotes in this channel with points. Oh, that's cool. Well, let me know if you want me to add emotes for channel points and stuff. She doesn't use it, or they don't use a spoon. I think all of these are gender neutral, aren't they? Oh no, Vivi's grandfather isn't. Oh, spoilers. Uh, okay. Also, I've made them a lot stronger looking than they actually are. They're just a big old weeble. That is actually a much more intimidating boss than the actual thing. Ah! Sorry. Okay. Let's go for... We're basically done, so I don't have to rush. There's 3 more bosses left. I'll leave my favourite till last. Let's go with the boss that probably should have been the final boss. How about that? I don't really know what this one looks like. I fought it before. I can't remember what it would look like, so I'm just going to sort of wing it. They're one of the few bosses who can't even be bothered to get up to fight you. Subscribes to unsubscribe. I think that still charges you, unfortunately, but... I don't know what they've got. Let's give them another fork. Why not? But this is the fork of hell! For this boss is Hades! They also have... Yes, YouTube. Yes. They also have this as their boss fight music. Where is it? Yeah. I guess you got that far, not new info regardless. There's not a lot of... yeah, there's not too much to know about that, and it's pretty early in. Pretty early into it that you get all these details. You can tell I've never drawn that before? Probably. You never win the festival, ran out of time fighting the big beastie. Don't bother. It's better not to. The harder bit is always trying to get Vivi to win. Which is even more pointless. Sorry, I'm looking at a reference. But yeah, you get a good item if you don't. So don't. Basically that. And the last two. This is the throwback to Final Fantasy V. Got it, really? That's pretty quick. Who is this? This is Tantarian. It's where you're scared to look in the library for a long time. Don't open the wrong book. They're great. They're a good time. They usually look like this. Because they're very shy and they don't want to be interrupted. This is the front cover of the book. There's like a pattern that is referenced to another enemy in Final Fantasy V. I think the back cover's also a reference. There was a bunch of book enemies in 5 in a library, so they put lots of references to it. Yes, that's Tantarian, and now the most difficult boss of all to draw. There it is. What does this mean? Fish. This, funnily enough, is my favourite design in the game. Because I don't know what it is. And I'm a sucker for unanswered questions. That's about it. Wrong colours, but... That's closer. Got that, and then it's sort of like some weird like greens and... I do not remember this music at all. No, that looks more like it, actually. Anyway, yeah, that's that. That's the super boss in the game. I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to things that are powerful in games but don't look like they should be. Which is why I quite like the last boss of Final Fantasy X as well. Because usually when you have a super boss in these games, it's like either a giant robot or a big dragon or something, and this is, what is it? I don't know what it is. The top and the bottom half spin in different directions, if that helps. It can cast Meteor. It's Ozma, by the way. It's called Ozma. I'll actually get a picture of Ozma up. Because it's weird. There it is. It's fairly accurate. Big old marble of doom. It's hard. But you can do things to make it easier. Like there's a scene of fighting it. Freya's the only one alive, which is nice, although they're called Genova for some reason. Genova, Renoa, Garland, and Yu Yevon. What a party. What a party indeed. Looks like stretched a drawing over a sphere. That's basically what they did. I do actually have the overlay, the texture, because I attempted to make it in Blender, but with actual clouds textures. It didn't end well. Where am I? Here? Nope. Yeah. Boom, that's the texture. It's just a kind of watercolory, spirally sort of thing. That's a thing. I was going to open up the Blender file, but it would probably crash the stream because Blender Cloud generation is not easy on the graphics processing. Right. Also, this is the final battle theme. Anyway, enough of that. It's not a particularly good end boss theme, but it's a funky jam. Yeah. So that was that. Thank you for coming along to a first boss brush for a while, and it started off panicky, but it turned out alright in the end. We made some friends along the way, like good old Tentarian, who's a good friend. Also, not you. Well, kind of you. Not you. I should point out, with this one, they're not like, that's not fists in foreshortening going towards, that's just 2 lumps of rock on the shoulders. I want to point that out. Where is, well actually that's kind of friend. I don't know what the original looks like, but that's kind of friend. Oh, it's just before that, isn't it? There we are. There they are. Look at them. It's Hill Guy Greg. Hill Guy Greg. That's what his name is. Having a good time. Good lad. Anywho, we'll say goodbye. Bid a fond farewell to Hill Guy Greg. And yeah, call it a time. Nothing quite as monstrous as the Executioner's Chariot, because there were roughly the same number of bosses here as there were in Dark Souls 2. But I can also erase in this one, so too bad. Yeah. Thank you for coming along on Tuesday. As well we know, or as well I know, at the very least. Possibly at the very most. We continue with the Citadel of Chaos. What did we do last time? Not a lot. We said hello to a woman. We got tricked by a leprechaun. We disassembled a golem. That happened. By bowling. Of course. Oh, yeah. Found it. Frame, man, why are you coming now? Of all the times. Why now? Honestly. Yes. He gave you a sword and a shield and a mirror, which you very carefully put away in your bag without looking into it. Understandably, to be fair. You dislike him, I guessed, funnily enough. Deeply. So yes, thank you everybody for coming along. The good friend. Thank you for coming along. Citadel of Chaos on Tuesday. I hope you have a wonderful week. Dark Souls on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We didn't really do much yesterday. I know, there's not many people. It was fortuitous. Not many people came to the stream, but nothing happened. Heart. Oh, I've sent out this month's Patreon stickers. I did that. When did I do that? Thursday? Saturday? I can't remember exactly when it was. So if you're supporting me on Patreon, you should receive that sticker in the post. As soon as postage will allow. I know some people only just received last month's set, but it'll get there. It'll get there. You won't get that one. You can buy it from my shop, but you won't get it in the post. Well, you will if you buy it, but you won't get it automatically. Yes. Was that Thursday? No, it was Friday. I think it was Friday, yeah. So those of you in the UK will probably get it tomorrow. Yes. And I should put the last month stickers up on my shop and actually advertise them for once. Would be nice. Anyway, I've got lots of stuff to do next week. All sorts of things all over the place. It's just a mess. No, you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for coming along and keeping me company and telling me that what I'm doing is not absolutely awful. Because sometimes I look at it. Sometimes I look at some of these drawings and I'm like, what is that? What is that exactly? I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to be Beatrix? Probably not. You take care of yourself. Do the business thing. Yes, I have a quick, well, not quick, but I have a shouldn't take too long commission for a friend, which is very time sensitive, so I've got to do that first. On top of getting the stickers ready for next month's Patreon, on top of commissions for Dark, on top of Patreon doodles, on top of getting October comics sorted. Lots and lots of bits and bobs. Can't complain though. People are supporting me, which is very kind of you. So, have a wonderful time, everyone. I'm gonna find a good track from this album from this OST, this OST, to go out on. Any requests? Any particular track from the FF9 soundtrack? Actually, do you know what? I will go out on this. Not this, but the thing I'm going to choose. Anyway, have a wonderful time. Enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful week. I hope it's amazing. Or at the very least, content. Goodbye.